You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius Dinny Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to another awesome episode of Vigilantes Radio. I'm your host, dini-mussolini, and boy, do we have an exciting show for you guys. This is going to be a pre-recorded episode, so it's not live, unfortunately, but still, I can't wait to deliver this particular episode to your inboxes and post it online everywhere on all major podcast apps and platforms. I can't wait, I tell you. So we have a very special guest for this segment, and I promise you guys, you don't want to miss out when this particular episode does air. But to be truly effective at achievement, you must learn to look ahead further than you can see, without losing sight of where you are. That means visualizing your destination in written detail, long before you can actually behold it. And yet, you must not get so wrapped up in the ultimate goal that you lose awareness of your current situation. In fact, any achievement is simply the result of making and then following the connection between your present circumstances and your visualized goal. You must be able to see both in clear, rich, brutally candid detail. Think of the last time you bought a plane ticket. Before you could purchase a ticket, you had to tell the airline, or nowadays is when you're online doing it, you have to go through every single detail, the name of the city from which you wish to depart, the name of the city where you want to travel. Without that information, it would be impossible for the airline to issue your ticket or to accommodate your travel plans. Your mind is a powerful goal-seeking tool, and it works in much the same way. It must know where you are and where you want to go. There is always a way to reach whatever goal you set for yourself. Your task is to see both ends of the journey at once in clear detail, and then find the best connection between them. Take that from me, dini-mussolini. That is my word, and word is bond.
You're live in the mix. Let's get this started.
Yo, hello and welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Music, or Inside the Book, Inside the Business, where we dive into the minds of the people who create marvelous things. It feels so good to be back with you guys once again. So one time for my people who are indigos, crystalline, or starseeds, or for my Vigilantes audience family, and 2 times for my people who are vegetarian or vegans. If you're like me, we are averaging over 37,000 live listeners, and we've been at this for 4 solid years. I appreciate all you guys who've been rocking with the kid on this journey, and we are still evolving, baby. It is all because of you, most definitely. We are the people who have dedicated their lives to music, spirituality, business, literature, art, movies, and research in every aspect, and we want to allow you an opportunity to tell your story. Man, we've had celebrities on our show, from Grammy Award-winning artists to nominees to actors, comedians, CEOs, technology geniuses, visual artists, from authors to professors and aliens, or people who think they're aliens. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. Come on our show and talk to me. So check it out. To book an interview or just to share a real cool story, email me at vradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. And that's V as in Victor. I'm passionate about what I do, just as passionate about what you do, and together, yes, together, we can get your voice heard by the people who should hear it. So let's create something incredible. You know the number to dial, 701-801-9813. Text that number to your buddy right now and tell them to tune in to connect with us or our guests, or you can hop in the mix directly from our website, onlyonemediagroup.com. Right from the homepage, you can slap that go live button and you'll be right here live in the mix and in the chat room with all of us. Feel free to shoot over some questions to ask our guests while they are here, but only as time permits. Sometimes my guests and I talk entirely too much and we take up the entire hour. And as always, all episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/Only One Media Group, iTunes, YouTube, or any app from the Google Play or iTunes Store, or over at our website. And that goes for every single episode that we ever aired.
All right, guys, and tonight's episode is the Tina, and I hope I get this correct. My French is not so fluent, but I believe it's rillieux. We'll see how bad I butchered that. But our interviews go beyond the music, the books, the magazines, the movies, the products, and even sometimes the ego. We go into the minds of authors, artists, bands, CEOs who create these marvelous aspirations. From researching our guests, mining for details, and watching, reading, or listening to everything we can, our interviews are designed to bring out the best answers possible through provoking questions that have real substance. So with that, let's go ahead and welcome Tina to our show. Hello, you're now, well, I was going to say you're now live with all of us, but we're not live this time around. So first and foremost, welcome to the show. And second thing,
thank you.
Pronounce your last name for me.
It's rillieux.
Rillieux. Wow.
Yes. You almost had it.
Almost.
It's okay.
All right. So, hi and welcome. Let's start from the very...
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, most definitely. Let's start from the top. Who is tina-rillieux?
I am, first, an amazing and wonderfully created, fearfully made woman of God, mother, wife, artist, educator, free spirit. I'm just limitless in who I actually am, and I'm still developing. So,
most definitely. You know, when people ask me that question, I normally go, Google?
Yeah.
It's always a strange question when someone asks who you are and you're on a journey, because you know who you used to be, and you kind of see who you want to be and, you know, where you should be. So you kind of give a mixed answer, but you seem to know where you stand in life and who you are, and hats off to you for that.
Thank you. But I'm still developing, like you said. We're on a journey, so we're constantly being redefined or being added to. So that's great, because that means I'm still growing.
Most definitely. So speaking of journey, how did this particular journey begin for you?
Well, the book journey started before I even knew it, actually, because I've always, since 6th grade, I've always written poetry. I've always been an artist. So in my own way, I've been storytelling, but on the level of book writing, it started a few years ago with Princess Nia. I wanted to do a really unique birthday gift for my godson's sister. And so what I did was I decided to write a story tailored just for her. Her name is actually Nia. And in her book, I actually put her in the illustrations. You know, I told her parents what pictures to send me, along with the storyline, and I just developed it around that. And after I proofread it, and I was like, wow, this is really an amazing story. Like, I wasn't like patting myself on the back, but I just really take great pride in what I do. And I was like, wow. And I did that within like an hour. And so I was like, this would be a really great book to publish. And so from there, I went ahead and I created the actual character that's on the book, Princess Nia, and it just went from there. That's really where me writing books came from. And so, not to mention that I'm a mom, so a mother and a grandmother, and so just to have something, a legacy to leave with my grandchildren and my children. So basically, that's where it started.
Most definitely. All right. How about a more general question? How do you feel, and you're an educator, as you said, how do you feel about putting any kind of price tag at all on something educational like books?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. It's not that I'm putting a price tag on the actual knowledge of the book, but because I'm not wealthy yet, or I don't have the finances to get it around the world, it unfortunately is the only avenue I have right now to make sure as many people as desire to have my books, and the moral lessons that they bring to the table and add to each person's life or reinforce. That is the only way right now that I can get that knowledge, that information, that adventure, the eye-opening things that my books contain. That's the only way I can get it to them right now. So if I could just be that philanthropist that I aspire to be one day, if I could just get it out there to people, I would absolutely do that. But right now, starting out, this is the road I have to take.
Most definitely. All right. And that's a great answer also. How can anyone determine what the real value from an educational book or book per se?
Well, I feel like it just depends on the value is really what you see for yourself in each book. Like, what is it awakening in you? What is it confirming or affirming in you? What does it compel you to do? Like, what is it really adding to your life as a person, your moral character? Because at the end of the day, that is what makes the world go round, or that is what, stifles the world going round, is a person's moral compass.
Most definitely. And how has working on these titles over a period of time affected your writing process and the stories itself? It just makes me really better as a person, because really my books contain things that I, as a mother, as a grandmother, and as an educator, have taught my children, grandchildren, and my students. I feel like, again, it's always about a self-reflection. Like, what a person sees in themselves is really going to determine their motivation to make better choices, or to, their state of mind really is contingent upon how they view themselves as valuable or invaluable, Most definitely. And when it comes to the aspect of time and how much of it you have and can disperse amongst the things that you provide for the youth and children, when something like one of your books began to gain traction, gain so much attention in theory, it might take up more of your time. You may have to be on book tours and, signing books, shaking hands, kissing babies, hugging necks, that kind of thing, So in general, with you being involved with in so many things, so many pieces to the pie, an entire author, it almost seems like when one of those elements truly take off, that maybe the others will get left behind. I'm not quite sure. So what truly defines the guidelines between where your focus goes?
Okay, well, that's an excellent question, and I think I have an excellent answer for that. Well, because of how my books, what's in my books and what they have to offer. One, I'm already kissing necks and hugging babies. That's just me as a person. I'm already, just by nature, an encouraging person. None of my books could ever get left behind, because what each one of them have in common is that they are designed to make each person that reads them a better person. For example, with Princess Nia and the Magic Flower, not only is it an adventure story, but at the very end of the story, it talks about Proverbs 22:1, which states that a great name or a great reputation is rather to be chosen than great wealth. That means when a person, first of all, your physical name means something. So what you name your children, my sons I have a Christopher, a Joshua, a Zion, and a Jordan. And so I wanted to make sure, that I implement that principle, because when you're calling a person's physical name, you're really making a confession over them. Abram couldn't be Abram and be the father of many nations. He had to be transformed into Abraham. And so that's what Abraham means, father of many nations. And so every time his name was spoken, a confession was being confirmed and affirmed over him. When the moral story of it is also that the way you treat somebody, when someone sees Tina coming, what are they seeing? Who do they see? A troublemaker or a person that loves people? Like, do you make someone feel good? Am I a perfect individual? No, I'm not. But I always, 90%, I'll just say 90%. I won't even say the 98% that I would truly say, but 90% of me is an encourager. Like, that's how much of a great display of affection I'm always giving. Touchy-feely, okay? I'm always giving an affectionate embrace. I'm always trying to give an encouraging word. And because I choose to smile instead of cry. I mean, I could cry. My life is not perfect, but I am not going to carry that on me where they're like, oh, man, what's going on with her? When they see my name, when they see me, what does Tina stand for? When they see Dini, are they scared of you? Are they excited? Are they like, wow, he's going to drop some knowledge on me? Or, man, this is just a burden. What name have you developed for yourself in the eyes of people, in the hearts of people? Because one thing people will never do is forget how you made them feel. Tilly the Toad to the Rescue, that's a book that isn't mentioned, but that's a fourth book that I have also available. And that teaches a lesson on how it's better to give than to receive. Yeah, it's great to receive, right? But I found personally that I feel so amazing when I make someone else's day, when I'm able to be that blessing, All my books contain a moral build-up, the alphabet with red, the alphabet with blue. Those are self-reflection books. And so if A is for awesome, the sentence there, sentence formation, okay, we need that. It says, I am awesome. So it's the reader saying that about themselves. Then we're building vocabulary, which is something we all need. We need to be articulate. And so it's going to give the definition. So now you're not only building a positive self-image, right? You're also building a vocabulary that educates you, that makes you feel like you have something worth talking about, something worth saying. But the lesser education, the lesser self-esteem. But the more education you have, the more self-awareness, the more positive self-image, the better choices you're going to make towards self. And ultimately, society will benefit from that positive self-image. So all of my books have some knowledge, have information that are going to educate you about yourself. They're going to help you build up yourself, spirit, soul, and body. And so none of my books can possibly, they can never be left behind or forgotten about, because they're all pertinent points and pivotal points in a person's development. And that's what we all aspire to do, is develop. We aspire as parents. When you are parents, I have 7 children. So I aspire to educate. I have 5 grandchildren, and God has blessed me to be very influential in, not just my children and raising them, which is my responsibility because they were my choice, but in my grandchildren's lives, I have played a pivotal point, like such an important part of my grandchildren's upbringing. And it's so amazing how they've used their experiences and the time they've been on this earth, what they've learned from, and how they've used it in their lives, even at such a young age. So,
definitely.
yeah.
And speaking about Princess Naya and the Magic Flower, I think it's easy for children to catch on to stories that seem fun and illustrated well and, read easy. But what about from an adultship view? What does Princess Naya and the Magic Flower metaphorical represent, like through the eyes of an adult, through your eyes?
Well, for me, Princess Nia represents when we, it's just about the excitement. When I was a child, and even as an adult, I cannot wait to see what my parents are going to send me all the way from Indiana here to Texas, where I live now, for my birthday. I'm excited about that. I can only imagine. So it just brings out the childlike energy that's still in each adult, and sometimes life can be so complex, through choices, through responsibility, that sometimes we forget how to be a child, to have that innocence, to have that pureness where you're just excited about life. And so I just hope that she will just relight the fire, rekindle the fire that we all possess. It's in us, and so it's just about rekindling that child that's still in us. Though we have to be responsible, there's still an excitement on the inside of us that we each possess. And so I just want to try to pull that out and let us remember that we can live and we can still be responsible and still have an amazing time doing it,
Most definitely. Is there going to be a book for boys as well?
Well, the Alphabet with Blue is for boys.
Okay.
Because remember, Princess Nia was a specific, I wrote her for the purpose of gifting her out, but I fell so in love with her that I decided to make her into a book. But I won't say no. I just at this particular moment, there's not. But doesn't mean that won't come across my creative, get me flowing creatively, and I just bring them on out. So don't think there won't be. Let's wait and see.
Most definitely. So, authoring children's book, was that a personal choice, or did you feel like somewhat of responsibility to a certain audience to deliver something that kids need these days?
It's both. It's a personal choice because for me it's not business, it's pleasure, and it's just a blessing that, like I said, I can gain monetary success for the legacy of myself, my family, but it's a responsibility to children and parents, because I feel like learning starts at home. It does not start in school. It does not start at church. Everything that your children are going to learn and develop into is going to be because of you, the parent. Whether you're an absent parent or whether you are a very present and upfront parent, everything our children learn. And so we parents have to stick together. And so, as I said, I teach my children the way that the books came about. Like I said, I have grandchildren and children, so I, at this point, because I've had children for the last 17 years, I've been the mother of 7, and throughout the years I would make little flashcards to teach them, and use my creative artistic abilities to. I have so many different little flip books that I've drawn in to teach them their alphabet, their numbers, their shapes. So as my grandchildren came along, I was doing the same thing, and then I get a lot of stuff from drawing. I doodle a lot. And so as I want to make it more accessible and easy to have access to get that learning, the foundational learning across, then I draw it. So it looks fun, it's colorful, and they grab onto it. And so that's really how those books, the Alphabet with Red, my nickname is Red. And then my husband's nickname is Blue. And so I wanted to make 2 separate books versus putting both characters into one book, because there's some definitions, like millionaire. M is for millionaire, and that can be a woman who is a millionaire, who has made $1 million, right, at least $1 million, or it can be the wife of a millionaire. But I didn't just want it to be, a millionaire as seen as just being male. Because Madam C.J. Walker, she was a African-American female millionaire. And it wasn't because of her husband, it was nothing related to that. It was her hard work that paid off. So just allowing women to have, and young girls to see that women can do it too. You can do it with your husband or on your own, if that, depending on what path you decide to take. So, but I think it's a responsibility personally. It's a personal choice, but it's a responsibility to teach our community, and just to work together to help each other. Like I said, it takes a village, and that's a African proverb. But and for so long, I didn't think that was in the Bible. We're like, that's in the Bible, but it's actually an African proverb. But it's still, it's taking a multitude of counselors, their safety. And so I just feel like it's a personal obligation and responsibility to just pour into my community, because we all have to live here. And so I just want to do my part to help out.
Most definitely. So I'm not sure if this is a state thing or is it a country thing, but you're an educator, so I think you're the perfect person to ask. In my home state of Mississippi, our illiteracy rate is super high. It's almost embarrassing. Well, it is embarrassing compared to when you get those results back statewide. The percentages are super low. So what is the deal with our educational system? I don't know if it's just a Mississippi thing or is this something that's affecting the entire country?
I honestly feel like it affects the entire country. And I'll just say that. You just have to kind of look around, and you can see it not just through because they'll never write down the truth, they'll never write down the true statistics because of embarrassment, because of shame, and because of who they particularly want to put the spotlight on. And so I'll just say that. But I feel like really it's the responsibility of the parents. Again, education starts at home. It's really no one's responsibility. I mean, it's a teacher's if you send your child to school and they volunteer for that job. But at the end of the day, a teacher can never fail your child if you don't fail your child, because we are the advocate for our students, our children. The parents are the advocates for the children and the teacher. And I have found from experience that when you make your face known, make your voice heard, what they would want to do to your child, they cannot.
Yeah.
They had eyes on them. You can't just send your children to school. You have to be involved. And so your child's success is really most of it, because kids have their own minds. They're going to do what they're going to do, and we're not there all the time. But, between the student, teacher, parent relationship, parents have to be involved. For my kids, even if they didn't have written homework, they always had homework because they always had to read a book. Period. You always have homework. It's called reading.
Yeah. I tell my kids all the time. Most definitely. All right, Tina, well, tell everyone where they can connect with you online and also pick up copies of your books.
If you go to Amazon.com, you can pick up my books. If you put my name in, Tina, Tina, Rillieux, RILLIEUX, all four of my books will pop up on Amazon, and you will have the option to purchase paperback or digital. So we have it on Kindle as well. And I appreciate everyone's support in advance. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Tina. You have a wonderful night.
You have a blessed one, and thank you for having me on your show. I appreciate your support.
Most definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out my podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/only1media group, iTunes, YouTube, any app that's on a Google Play or iTunes store. or our website, and that goes from every single episode that we've ever aired. If you'd like to request music or a particular guest or send something for me to play, email it to theradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. If it's music, please label it by artist and title. Here's my disclaimer. We are genre-free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay, but facts alone. And actually, you can scratch all of that because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show, so deal with it. Nah, just kidding. On behalf of myself, Dini-Mussolini, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word because sharing is caring. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure that you have the best experience here on our show. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, as well as Spreaker. We always follow back. That is the number one rule. Okay, well, just remember to be yourself and be absolutely great at just doing that. Avoid being too comfortable because you're messing with your potential when you do that. Peace and have a good night.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.